I'm wondering, like, where's the prohibition against beards come from?
Beards?
Yeah. Because some people, you know, a couple of people just bring that to your attention. I'm like,
oh, I did that to you too.
yeah, and I just wonder. I never seen an article or anything. Where's the principle come from?
Well, I recall. I'll give you an example. I recall is there's no prohibition against per se beards, because you go to some places and you know, they have beards.
Mm-hmm.
The nation of Israel, you had a beard,
yeah,
because all the Egyptians were clean shaven.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it is it's how what's accepted as being socially acceptable, so that we get the preaching work done.
Mm-hmm.
You see.
Yeah.
And so no. For instance, if say I wanted to wear, think of something that you wouldn't wear. What's sociably acceptable?
Yeah.
Okay. So for men in our society right now,
Mm-hmm.
for if we had brothers saying, okay, I want to wear a beard,
Mm-hmm.
would that be socially acceptable?
Depends on where you live at.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
because
Now,
it's something.
let's say our neighborhood right here. We saw a person wearing a
In person, I wouldn't think of nothing unless you got it wait like a Santa Claus thing. But if you like a gold tee like this, and my thing is, if you got a clean shaved gold tee, and I see you at my door, and I'm not a Jehovah's Witness, that wouldn't cause me to say, don't open that door because he's about to rob me. Like, he's clean shaved.
But if you saw that same person in the congregation on the stage, what would you think?
Yes, I wouldn't think nothing.
You see. What would you think the majority of the brothers would think, though?
I'm not sure. I know that some would probably be like, what is he doing? Because somebody said, you know, beards are frowned upon.
No, I don't think that would be the case. What it is that when we are as a people, we're told to be modest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in our society right now, if you look at the majority of society,
Mm-hmm.
For those who are Christian individuals who are out in the ministry,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sure, you have the few that are kind of radical, but when people see you and they see us as Jehovah's people,
Mm-hmm.
they know we dress a certain way and we carry ourselves in a certain way, and that's not what the face you hear.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we may go to a place over in a different country. It's just like when we go from door to door. It may be 90 degrees outside.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you have a tie on?
Mm-hmm.
It's 90 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
Why you here in my house with a tie? Now you can go to somebody's door without a tie, and they may not think anything of it.
Mm-hmm.
But we do it because socially we want to stand out as modest
Mm-hmm.
in our dress and in our grooming.
Mm-hmm.
And socially, that's modesty is clean shaven.
So, what about the mustache? Like, is that?
It's the same thing with a mustache. If socially, you can have a mustache, and
Mm-hmm.
if it's not one of these things where it's like up like that, you know.
Yeah, but what's different? Like, if I had this neat trim, what would be different between if I had this neat trim? What would be the difference? Like,
it would be.
out of all people, I don't think nobody
Think about it from literally we're coming to their door.
If it's clean, I don't think the beard would be the first thing to look at. If it's clean shaven, yeah. If it's going way down here, but I'm saying like a gold tee, I don't think that.
Goatee.
Yeah.
Even if it's a gold tee or beard, would they look at you as a religious person being one of Jehovah's Witnesses? Or would they think you were Baptist or some other religion?
I don't think they would know until they open the door. So I could be a Nation of Islam. You see, but I'm saying that if you come to the door and somebody looking at a gold tee, won't be the first thing to look at. Your first. I don't think that would be the first thing to look at. I think if they open the door, I think they're looking at who's this person, your whole being. Like if you got this little bit right here, I don't think that would even come into focus. But I'm saying like me, I would shave this off. This little thing, because it don't grow. If I go to the Kingdom Hall with shrub down here, okay.
Why do you get so much comment about it?
Yeah, how do you get so much, like, where does the principle come in, like, based on the Bible, that would say that this is a huge no-no?
I mean, just looking at it, perspective-wise, I mean, you come to the Kingdom Hall and you have a little unshaven thing, there's no big deal.
Yeah.
If someone has a problem with it, then that's their problem.
Yeah.
Okay? But if you're talking about being where you're going to grow a beard in the congregation, and nobody's going to, I mean, you're not going to be thrown out the congregation. You can have a full beard if you want to. You can come in there like that.
Yeah.
But when we're talking about, we're doing things not for our benefit.
Mm-hmm.
See, the principle comes in when we're not looking out for the benefit of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking out for the benefit of others.
Yeah.
And so some of those others may be our brothers and sisters in the congregation.
Mm-hmm.
There may be those who we go out and to preach to and door to door. Those are the individuals that we are looking out for their interests.
Yeah.
And so that's where the principle comes in. You see, but if I'm going to say, I always think of the example that the brother gave one time about a person who insisted on having a beard.
Mm-hmm.
He insisted on having a beard, and okay, so the brothers eventually let him. So, I mean, if I come to Kingdom Hall, my what they call it, my shadow from the work, you know, I couldn't shave that night or whatever. It's hey, you got a beard, okay, whatever. But I'm talking about in principle wise,
mm-hmm.
we're looking out for the benefit of if that offends someone,
mm-hmm.
you know, say in the Kingdom Hall or even as we go from door to door. And so we've been, you know, the faithful slave gives us examples,
mm-hmm.
you know, of, you know, this is the way as a people that we dress because we want to present ourselves in a certain way. And so that's why, you know, normally you don't see the beards and things like mm-hmm. that in the Kingdom Hall. I mean, you can go to some places, probably they have them.
Yeah.
It's just like you go to some places and the brothers don't wear ties,
mm-hmm.
you know,
yeah,
when they go out in service. But I think of this when you talk about that. When someone gets stubborn and saying, "Oh no, I should be able to have this,"
mm-hmm.
I never forget the example a brother used where there was an individual that insisted on having their beard.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah, okay, so you can have your beard, whatever. But this same person went to work for Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
And Disneyland said, "No, you can't come in here with a beard."
Mm-hmm.
And he shaved it off.
Mm-hmm.
So the brother said, "Okay, you're gonna shave it. You can't shave your beard off for Jehovah, but you can shave it off for Mickey Mouse."
Yeah.
You see.
Yeah.
And so the thing is, the principle is, we look out for the benefit of not just ourselves,
mm-hmm.
but for others. What's going to be what is not going to offend not only those that we go out in this service with, but our brothers and sisters in the congregation, and likewise us as our social structure here, how it's going to be accepted. Mm-hmm. And it's accepted that, you know, we're clean-shaven people, we're neat people, we're clean people. Mm-hmm. And for men, you know, that's how we present ourselves. Yeah. And we don't necessarily, it may not necessarily be maybe we want to grow a goatee or whatever, but we're ministers first. We're Jehovah's Witnesses first. Mm-hmm. And as brothers especially, we look out for...
Yeah, so the principle...
That's when this the social prohibition.
I'm saying, like, what principle is there that we base it off a worldly profession? Because that's like a worldly...
We base it, the principle is this. The principle is we don't look out upon our own interests. but the interests of those around us.
Yeah, I know.
Because we want to be acceptable to most of to not only our neighbors outside the congregation, but inside the congregation too. And that's what we base. That's why we don't go to the Kingdom Hall with jeans on or sneakers like they do at the church. You see, because we have a certain standard that we want to meet. That's a standard of respectability.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like he said we look at the business profession as the standard of what's professional or not
in that area.
Yeah. So what principle is that based off that we as Christians look to professions as the highlight of what's acceptable in the community?
No, it's not just it's what you're narrowing it, and he didn't mean to narrow it like that. We look at it at what's going to be most acceptable, and it's normally the business, and it's normally the business attire, because that's why that's acceptable as attire that is not. I wouldn't say. We don't want to make it like they're governing our Christian morals.
Yeah,
because they're out, because some of their morals are totally out there.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like.
Yeah, no,
there's
not that.
no.
It's an example. When you go to a house and people say take your shoes off, you know, before you come in.
Yeah.
Do you have to?
No, out of respect.
Out of respect.
Yeah.
And that's all you're doing.
Yeah.
It's not a Christian principle that we're citing a Christian principle in line with business principles. It's not about that. It's about what's acceptable and not even what's respectable dress-wise. What's respectable? You know, what's an expected or a respected example of dress.
In other words, we want our message to be seen and not us.
Exactly.
So whatever brings the least amount of attention. Because if brothers started wearing beards and started getting all fancy, that would be more of an attention than the message that delivered.
So wouldn't that same principle apply to somebody with earrings in their ears going to somebody's door?
It could.
Yeah. So that's not. So why is that not discouraged the same way as the beard?
Well, for men it is. But
no,
it's
sisters,
if they're wearing things out here, yeah.
Well, even sisters that sometimes, you know, because Sharon used to have earrings that went all the way around.
Yeah.
There's no prohibition, but again, she took them out because it started affecting individuals.
Yeah, but she still kept like one end.
She kept a few earrings.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like, say that you might keep a little here. It's not. You're not doing it like she had it all around here. You're not doing it all around here, but just like she had a couple here, well, you got a couple of strands here. Like here, like, wouldn't that same principle apply? Like I think somebody see your earrings before they see a little thing down here.
You can do what you want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. There's
no
prohibition.
I know, no, but it's like discouraged, and I you know, and again, what Bible principle is it based on? Because Charles Russell had a beard, right?
Right.
In the 40s, they wore beards.
But it was socially acceptable.
Yeah. So when did it become insociably?
When society changed.
When did they change?
For instance, how many people wear bell bottoms now?
Depends on where you go. I mean, some styles come back.
I know, but how many people?
Not too much.
Okay.
Yeah.
When did that change?
Say probably 80s.
Why?
That was a fad.
Well, bell bottoms was a fad. So straight pants are a fad.
No,
No, it's what society. It's how society really shifts. Fashion shifts.
Yeah.
Facial. So it's the same thing with facial features. They shift. You know.
Yeah.
There was a time when people didn't wear mustaches. And there was a time when everybody wore a mustache.
Yeah.
You know. So it shifts.
Yeah, it shifts like when it comes to beard.
So it's not.
I don't. Yeah.
So,
look.
Let me read this.
All right.
That dog this really is like you're looking for a Bible principle.
Yeah.
As to why we would wear a beard or we'd be careful, right?
Yeah.
So this is one of the scriptures that they base this on. It says, do nothing out of contentiousness or out of egotism. In other words, what we think, what we want.
Yeah.
Is what makes us feel good. But with humility, consider others superior to you. So when we go to the door, we don't want to accidentally offend anybody. We don't know. We're taking everybody as we go door to door into consideration, right? So it says, as you look out for not only for your own interest, but also in the interest of others. So that's the principle.
Okay.
This is one of the scriptural principles of why we wouldn't do or try to we're really thinking about who we're coming across. And we don't know who's on the other side of the door. We don't know what their views are, their opinions are. Almost external appearance.
Yeah. At the hall, like, how would that stumble anybody at the hall? Because I know that, because...
But wouldn't it be the same principle? Because of the fact, or the same principle that Jerry said? I mean, because the individuals in the hall, they also recognize that we have a certain standard. We have a certain standard so that when people come into our hall, because we have people that come into our hall that they have the long hair, they have the beards, they have, and what happens after a while when they associate with us? They change because they expect or whatever, or the sister may want to have the long hair, earrings going down to, here or whatever. But
yeah, well, I mean, I wouldn't. I don't particularly want a beard, but I keep hearing that.
No, that's a good question.
Yeah.
That is a good question.
Yeah, 'cause I keep hearing, I'm like, okay, why is this such a big deal? Like, because, like I said, beards, you look at the history, they went in and out of style.
Right.
And I know the hippies in the 60s, that was a sign of rebellion.
right.
So, yeah, in the 60s, I wouldn't want to wear a beard because people think, oh, you rebelling against the establishment? But that left with them in the 80s, like whenever the hippies went out. And so today, a beard is more, like, to me, a sign of masculinity. Because...
so metrosexual or that homosexual world, that type of beard, people associate that with them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I'm just saying, like, because my thing is, what do they associate with it now? Like, as I said, dreads. They associate that with the Rasta. And so, yeah, I wouldn't want to, in principle, you don't want to be caught up with what other people are doing. Like, it might not be, you might like it, but if the world as a whole is doing it, and, like me, say that I get rainbow shoes, like right now, that's not the thing to get, because that's associated with a big thing right now. Nothing about would say nothing wrong with rainbow shoes, but as a man wearing rainbow shoes, that's associated with,
So you support homosexual gay pride.
Yeah, and that's not even it.
But what if I say, I like my rainbow shoes?
Yeah.
I'm not homosexual.
Yeah.
You see? But so it's basically the same thing you're saying with the beard. Yeah. Right now, if you come into our Kingdom Hall and you're wearing a beard, you're gonna be looked upon as different.
Yeah.
Rebellious.
Exactly.
Yeah, because
Rebellious.
I'm saying, but who put that mindset out there that
who
right
put
now?
the mindset that that rainbows belong to gays?
Well, yeah, the word did that. But I'm saying the word didn't put the mindset like I'm saying back in the 60s it was rebellion, but today I don't see the world.
Well, yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do. It's
Just
not
because the 60s went doesn't mean the idea went away.
Right.
Yeah, but if I ask, say I went door to door asking everybody, what does a beard symbolize to you? Are they gonna say, oh, that's rebellion against the establishment? Because
no. But don't go to the door necessarily.
No,
because
like
you're going to get a variety of opinions. When you look at okay, us as a people, Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah.
When you think of Jehovah's Witnesses, do you think of a beard? Yes or no?
No, I don't think of beard.
Okay, that discussion ended.
No, because that's just like, okay, when you think of Jonestown, I'm saying that this is the whole thing. When you when there's a policy set down.
No, it's not a policy.
No, when there's something set down and there's no explanation for why it's doing it, then it's like, okay, everybody's going along with it. And, you know, I can say, okay, just like Jonestown, everybody drinking Kool-Aid. End of discussion.
No, come on.
I'm giving an example, not saying that it's going that deep, but the example that when something's set down and there's no explanation that, oh, we're just doing it because this is how everybody in this group feels this way.
No. Once again, we've already said it's not because everybody feels this way. It's the principle. The principle is we're not doing it for ourselves.
Yeah,
we're not doing it because we are. We're not doing it because we.
There's a law.
As a law.
Yeah.
We're doing it because it's discouraged because of how it affects our not only us, but right now for the 2015 or whatever, the majority of and it may change. Maybe 10 years from now, it'll be totally acceptable. Just like 10 years ago, I remember a time I was in a congregation. If you wore bell bottoms, that was frowned upon.
Yeah, because at that time that was associated with disco.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but
today.
But what I'm saying is today, right now, at this time, if you saw one of Jehovah's Witnesses with a beard, what would you think?
I'm gonna think nothing.
No. Come on. If you went to come on, be honest. If you went to a congregation and you saw a bunch of brothers up there with beards, you wouldn't think nothing.
Well, it depends on how long it is.
No. I'm saying even if they had,
would you think he was baptized or unbaptized? If you saw someone come to the Kingdom Hall with a beard,
even if it was a nice trimmed, you know,
would you think he was baptized or unbaptized?
I'm thinking I'm baptized.
Okay,
Exactly.
but and then now take that a step further. If you walked to the Kingdom Hall and you saw the brothers, all these brothers, nice trimmed beards, and all of them, and you walk to that kingdom, you go, when you go, what's going on here? All of them are trimmed, all of them are nice looking, nice suits on. I mean, everything else is cool. Because for us right now, that's not the case. Now, it has nothing to do with a beard being right or wrong, but what it has to do with is, once again, going back to that principle. We, as it stands now, we do things that are going to most benefit our work. And for right now, clean shaven for men is what is acceptable. Now that can change, and it has nothing to do with it has nothing to do with policy, because there's no policy. There's no policy that the brothers get from Bethel that says, "Hey, none of you brothers can wear beards." There's no such thing.
Yeah, but it's a mindset. Like, I'm asking you.
Look,
Yes. Like, see, I can go. If I went to the Kingdom Hall, and I just say that everybody at Kingdom Hall, I asked each person individually, why is this scourge? Everybody give a different answer.
Exactly.
So that's what I'm saying. So it's like, it's not, if it's based on principle, it would be that based on that principle. But it's like, everybody give, because we already know why we don't celebrate Christmas. Because based on that principle, that's that. But nobody would give a different reason why we do that. Or why you guys, or why we, let me see, why we don't vote. It's based on a principle. But if I were to ask everybody that who's offended, what's wrong with the beard, everyone give a different reason.
Like what? What do you mean a different reason?
A different reason. Like you're saying because we go by the it's socially acceptable.
No, right. What's respectable?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jerry said because that's what's professional looking.
Well, that's what's socially acceptable.
No,
That's the same thing.
No, it's not the same thing. It's
Why
like,
not?
Because
how can it not be the same thing? Because business, for instance, give you an example. If you see a businessman, okay, when you think of a businessman, what do you think about? What's he wearing?
He's professional looking.
What's he wearing?
Wearing a suit.
Okay. If I say, and now I'm saying he's socially acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference? He's a businessman. He's socially acceptable.
Well, it depends on what business you go to.
Well,
But you
know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know exactly.
I'm talking about something that's off the wall or something like that. But in general, exactly.
Yeah.
But in general, that's what's acceptable.
So what we looking at the corporate, like, because I see people wearing jeans and they got their little button-up shirt tucked in their jeans. Like jeans is the slacks.
Yeah, but it's not respectable.
No, to that business, that's the thing.
Yeah, but I mean for in general.
Yeah. There's a difference between respectable and acceptable.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. So you saying we base it off the
what's respectable.
What's respectable.
Yeah, but I'm talking about, but it all comes back down to the basic principle. Basic principle, like Jerry was saying from Philippines, is we do it not because of a policy, not because it's socially well. The principle is, if you're looking for a principle, that's the principle. You see, that's the Bible principle. So no matter what person you go to in the Kingdom Hall, whatever their objection is, it always comes back. It always comes back.
They're not going to point to that.
Right.
They're not going to point to that.
You know why? Because they don't think about it.
I know exactly. Because I'm not extensive, but it's a preaching tool as far as me trying to, because those things you mentioned, I don't like none of them. But in order to help a person see as to what's the spirituality or what's the spiritual behind that, I try to get to that.
Right. So you had a reason to research it.
Yeah.
Most brothers or sisters, especially sisters, they don't think about the beard.
Yeah.
So they don't research it.
Yeah, but then they would frown upon something they never researched. Like, you think about the wedding ring. I don't want to get off things, but the wedding ring. This came from
ritual.
Yeah, well, it came from paganism.
Right.
But see, I'm not going to frown upon that. I haven't really did research, but I'm not going to frown upon it. So I'm saying, how would you frown upon something you never really researched? You see what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, that's true.
That's
true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. But they and you could tell them, hey, research it.
Yeah.
You know? And you can tell them, just research it. I mean, why? I mean, if I come into the Kingdom Hall with a beard and you don't like it, why?
Yeah.
And then tell them to research it. But what we're telling you right now is, because you asked us, is why.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
You know, that principle is why.
I get that.
And the other part, you've almost placed it on the level of a person's spirituality. That's what you're looking for, because you're saying, if I come in with a beard, are you saying that I'm not spiritual?
No, and that's not the case.
No, but that's what you're asking, basically.
Yeah.
Why is it discouraged? Why can't I be a spiritual person or view that?
Yeah.
Because majority of witness, because like Andrew said, if you saw a person, would you think he's baptized or unbaptized?
And if you're a spiritual person, and if you're saying I'm a spiritual person, then as a spiritual person, you're going to say, okay, I'm going to not put myself ahead of my brothers. You see? So if you're saying, oh, I can be spiritual and still wear a beard, you may still. All things are lawful, but not all things are advantageous.
Yeah.
See?
So if they're asking, that means you could stumble them. You know what I mean? So if a person is asking, then that means they can be stumbled.
And even in that, you go, okay, there's a degree of being reasonable,
Yeah.
And a person, if somebody comes to me and go, Andrew, man, you got a 5 o'clock shadow. Okay, I do. So, okay, now if that person walks away and they go, wow, Andrew has a 5 o'clock shadow. Well, it's kind of like, now if I persist in that, if I come and have a full-grown beard, I mean, because maybe you say, hey, I just didn't shave that day, okay, so exactly, for whatever reason, but once again, it gets down to, what are we, that principle right there. And I think, now, if a person doesn't do the research on it and they come up and they ask about it, that's up to them to go do the research or whatever, you know, to find out why. And a lot of times it's just, you know, it's not that big of a deal that we have to, you know, we have to brainstorm.
And when I say stumble, you may not stumble them out of the truth, but they'll stumble them at how they view you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it's not. Yeah, to me, it's not a big deal. I'm not asking this because I want to wear a beard. I'm just asking because I never understood when it started, when the mindset started. As far as because Charles Russell was never, and even during that time, you gotta understand. Even during that time, beards was not a big thing. Like beards went in and out. Like Abraham Lincoln was the first president to wear a beard. And they didn't like that.
And who knows in the future it might do the same thing.
Yeah.
See, Russell was a businessman.
Yeah.
When Judge Rutherford.
Yeah.
So that's about the time period it started changing.
Yeah, it started changing. Okay.
Period.
Yeah.
Right. And that's when they said, "Oh, I'm going back to the beards. I want the. I'm rebelling against the establishment."
Yeah.
Establishment was the clean shaven.
Yeah.
After, so those are the black brothers.
Yeah, but see,
just the thinking about.
But see, even with that, it was not. It was based on somebody's thinking. It wasn't based on a principle. Like nobody would say, they can look in the Bible and say, big lips, high. There wasn't no principle in there. It was based on somebody's thinking. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was wondering.
But
like,
that's where their adjustment had to be.
Yeah.
Tweak, and that's what I love about this area of the four of the beers and all.
No, I was wondering because I never actually seen one, or I never seen a principle, and I'm just wondering because I can go in any congregation, but it says that if you follow mindset, at least have a principle behind it. Like I know about the tattoos, and you might dye your hair pink and all this other stuff. Mine's based on the principle behind it, not because everybody I know is saying, oh. That's frowned upon in this part of town.
Well, let me ask you this: if someone
that right there, that's based on a fad of the world. It's not. It's drawn attention. Oh yeah, you can't do that. Right. What I'm saying, like
So that's why I asked.
Yeah, it would be
we stop anybody from going out.
No, you would stop them, but like somebody going, everybody would look like while you talking, like your mind be like. What is? Yeah, it would be distracting, but that distraction would be based on a principle. Like, I'm getting my tongue, and I don't want to go to you shouldn't period. That's something else. But the fact that I forgot the scripture, but don't be. What is that? Don't be molded. Yeah, they're good. Molded. Yeah. And so that's my thing. Is it's not a big thing. I mean, yeah, some places you got to go. You got to shave your beard. That's just how it is. But if I have a mindset where I'm just distracted, my distraction should be based on a principle, not the reaction of the rest of the crowd. Because say that in the end, we have to get the mark of the beast, and because you see everybody else getting the mark of the beast, your mind said, "Oh, well, everybody else getting it, I'm not going to be frowned upon it." You know what I'm saying?
That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
And you're right. You're right. Yeah, you should have a Bible principle behind it, right?
Yeah. No,
that's true. That's true.
Yeah, well, that's all I was asking.
No, that